What is up, Buffalo fanatics? Z-Bot here with you, live on a mother effing game day, baby. And that, of course, can only mean one thing. It is the BF Tailgate, powered by BetUS. Rico says he'll be joining me shortly. He's coming back from church. I swear to God, this guy goes to church on Mars. He texts me at 11:30. He says, I'm on my way home from church. At 12:10, he said, you're going to have to start without me. I said, where the hell is this church? Belize? He's on his way home. He said he'll be joining me at some point. If he doesn't, he gives his regards and says, go Bills. Right now, we're talking Bills. We're talking Titans. 1 p.m. kickoff. We're about 40 minutes away. The inactive report for the Bills is looking about as good as it's looked in weeks. These Buffalo Bills are essentially back to full health, and I'm looking forward to watching it this afternoon, not to mention the addition, of course, of Amari Cooper. What's that going to look like this afternoon? What's his role going to be, having just been added to the team this past week? We will find out. I'll take you over to Twitter right now, where the Buffalo Bills official account posted a video of said Amari Cooper warming up at the Ralph. Take a look at this, folks. It's officially official. There he is. Coop. Can't you hear it now? It's the first thing. One of the first things I thought of when they signed him is that this crowd, similar to, remember when Bees would catch a ball, Beasley, Bees. Every time Cooper sniffs that ball, that's all you're going to hear in the crowd. Coop. Now, what I thought would be a good idea, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but you know the Cooper tires? Cooper tires, it's like a tire company. Every time Cooper catches a ball, they play the Cooper tire song. Cooper. Cooper. If you don't know it, look it up. Look up Cooper tires jingle, and you know what I'm talking about. Either way, Amari Cooper will be out there today. In what capacity, I'm not sure, but shout out McDermott and the boys for getting him ready to rock instantly. Shout out to him for being somewhat prepared, however prepared you could possibly be within this system to go out there and play today. But regardless of Amari Cooper, this entire team in general, for the most part right now, is as healthy as it's been in some time. Here are the inactives for today, and there's only 5 inactives, and it's not guys that have been inactive the last couple of weeks, not guys that are pivotal to the outcome of games for these Buffalo Bills. So as you can see in front of you here, the guys you're going to want out there that have been banged up as of late are going to be out there. That's Ed Oliver. That's James Cook. Khalil Shakir back to full health. Of course, Teron Johnson, another week in the, in recovery here after playing last week. He's back to full health. Of course, this team right now, it's about as healthy as you could possibly want it. And this is a good thing. They're going into a stretch right here where these games should be favorable for them. So not only are they in a good stretch of their schedule, but they're in a good stretch here in terms of health. So real good time for the Bills to get ready to rock for that latter half of the year. Not that you want to overlook this chunk, but this chunk right here seems to be a really good launch point for the Bills to go into the second half of the season and then take that into the playoffs. But right now, you're set up in a situation that you want to be set up in if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. Speaking of this game and, inactives and not playing, whatever, interesting quarterback change this past last night for the Tennessee Titans. We were not expecting this at all. Will Levis is not going to be, if you haven't heard, Will Levis is not going to be the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans this afternoon. He's been dealing with an apparent shoulder injury, but it hasn't sidelined him for the game or for games. So about 18 hours ago, Adam Schefter tweeted out, Titans quarterback Will Levis is dealing with a grade 2 AC sprain in his right shoulder and could be sidelined beyond Sunday's game, meaning today at Buffalo, per sources. This is considered a 4 to 5 week injury, and Levis has played through injuries in the past, but this one will be week to week. Then Mike Florio commented on that and said he played last week and he fully participated in practice on Thursday. The injury happened 19 days ago. This is weird. I agree. This is weird. To me, I'm not arguing that Will Levis is hurt or not. We've known he's been banged up. I'm arguing against the decision to not play him. This, to me, is a silent benching. I'm not arguing against the fact that he's hurt. He's certainly hurt. Is he hurt enough to not play? I don't know. I got a feeling if this was Mahomes, if this was Allen, if this was Lamar, whoever, they're playing today. I'm wondering if the decision for him not to play today is not 100% due to the injury, but maybe 50% due to it and 50% because he's been playing some of the worst football in the league. I think that certainly has something to do with it. If you're also factoring in what Schefter is saying here, and that's him not playing for 4 to 5 weeks, well, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If he just played with this injury last week and he practiced all throughout the week here, now all of a sudden it's a 4 to 5 week injury. I think it certainly has something to do with it, but I think the majority of it has to do with them wanting to make a switch in Tennessee for the most part right now and see what else they have. And what they have right now is Mason Rudolph, who will be starting for the Tennessee Titans today. Brian Callahan, the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, he seemed like he's had it up to here with Will Levis. You could tell throughout the year. And it's not like it's gotten any better. Will Levis continues to show you every week that he just cannot seem to get out of his own way. Every single week seems to be something with Will Levis. He's become a meme every week. Have you not seen it online? Every week, Will Levis has become a still image of him has become a meme. And you don't want your quarterback to be a weekly meme. Unfortunately for the Titans fans, that is what Will Levis has become. Now, all of a sudden, with this injury, they've parlayed it into, I don't know, and what I view to be a silent benching. We can't put him back out there. He's injured. We might as well keep him on the sideline until this is healed up or whatever else. We'll use that as the reasoning behind it. Because you know how it goes. If you bench a quarterback, it's major news, and this is the easiest way to do it without having to go down that cycle. The easiest way to do it is, oh, he's injured. No, he's still injured. He's still injured. Once again, not questioning the injury, but you have to question the circumstances surrounding the benching. The injury factors into it, but when he played last week, he practiced fully all throughout the week up until the weekend. Then the night before the game, all of a sudden, he's not ready to go. And then all of a sudden, it's a 4 to 5 week injury. You have to question that. And when you factor in how poorly he's played, when you factor in the visible frustration from Brian Callahan over his play, I think it's safe to say it's a bit more here than just the injury. So with that said, it is Mason Rudolph who gets the start for the Tennessee Titans today against the Buffalo Bills. And these Bills are familiar with Mason Rudolph. The last time we saw Mason Rudolph was in the postseason when the Buffalo Bills took on the Pittsburgh Steelers last year in the wild card. And we know how that went. Bills were pretty much dominant throughout the entire game, and Steelers offense didn't have much to show for it. Here are the stats for Mason Rudolph back in that game. 22 of 39. Good for a 56% completion percentage. 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick, and an 80 overall rating. Now, I will say this. I think this Titans team is in a better spot with Mason Rudolph. I think today, if I'm trotting out a quarterback and I had to decide who do I want to start against a Sean McDermott-led defense who's now as healthy as it's been in a while here, who do I want to start that gives me the best chance? Will Levis or Mason Rudolph? I'm doing, personally, what Brian Callahan's doing. I'm starting Mason Rudolph. I think that gives me my best chance. These Titans have won 1 game so far with Will Levis. Each and every week, he has looked erratic. He has looked like he simply cannot rein in the decision-making that has led to him turning the ball over at way too high a rate. This defense for the Titans is absolutely phenomenal. And I feel like you're doing a disservice to the rest of the team if you're not trotting out the guy that gives you the best chance to win. I don't know if right now Will Levis gives you the best chance to win. You can argue throughout the first month and a half here, Will Levis has probably given you your highest chance to lose. He has literally lost at least 2 games, you could argue, for the Titans this year, including the game against the Jets that I reference all the time, where they were on the doorstep of scoring a touchdown and putting that game, I don't want to say away, but they were going to, separate from the Jets and put themselves in a good spot to win that game. And he just threw it backwards. He just threw it backwards in the middle of the red zone. So if I'm the Titans, I feel better about my chances today going in with Mason Rudolph. In fact, I know that these Titan fans do. I talked to a friend of mine, Titans Rossi, who I do the roundtable with sometimes on the AFC South roundtable on Tuesday nights. I talked to him this morning. And he said, he pretty much just said what I told you. This gives them a better chance. Now, he's been out on Will Levis, as I know, many Titans fans have been. Some aren't. Some want it to work out. I think all of them want him to work out, but I think some are coming around to the reality that it's probably not going to work out. But Rossi's been out on him, and he told me, this gives him a better chance. I agree. I agree. I was looking forward to watching what Sean McDermott was going to cook up for Will Levis, because it felt inevitable that with as good a defense as the Bills have, with as savvy of a defensive coach as Sean McDermott is, and with these moments, it feels like that's when you see it the most with these young, either inexperienced or just very raw quarterbacks. You see them kind of get thrown into a spin cycle by a coach like McDermott. You see it all the time. But Belichick used to do it. Mike Tomlin still does it. It's very hard for a quarterback like Will Levis to go out and succeed against a guy like McDermott, who's able to put him in situations that are going to make him very uncomfortable. And I was looking forward to watching that today. I thought the biggest advantage today was going to be that unit, the Bills defense versus Will Levis. I thought at the very bare minimum, the Bills would pick him off one time. This felt like a 2-turnover type game for me for the Titans on offense. Not to say that that's not still a possibility. They turned over Mason Rudolph last year in the playoffs, but I don't feel as confident in the Bills defense toying with the Bills defense toying with the Titans offense without Will Levis out there. It doesn't affect my confidence level overall really on the game itself, but I was just really looking forward to this defense kind of going out there and dominating the Titans offense. I think there's more stability today with the Titans offense under Mason Rudolph. Now, the key for these Titans, it's not even going to have to do with the quarterback at all for the most part. It's going to have to do with the run game. Right now, the biggest Achilles heel for this Bills team is their run defense. They cannot stop the run. You saw it again this past week against the New York Jets. The Jets went into that game on Monday Night Football as one of the worst run offenses in the league, and they had their best performance of the year on Monday night, despite the losing effort. Breece Hall has not been able to get much going at all. He was able to have a very big impact on that game this past weekend, or this past Monday. The Titans offensively are terrible. I mean, they are just awful. If you go and look at the numbers right now, the Titans offensively are bottom barrel in just about all categories. Where they are the worst at, though, and not just, saying, oh, they're the worst. They are legitimately 32 out of 32. It's the pass offense. They're averaging 135 yards through the air a game. You know how bad that is? It is egregiously bad. It's only up there with New England for how bad it is. That's why I think the factor today for the Titans to be able to hang in this game is going to be the run game. Now, they don't have a stout run game by any means, but it's middle of the pack. And compared to their passing offense, that's pretty much as good as it gets. Because their passing offense is so bottom barrel that even anything they can do mediocre is 10 times better than what they can do through the air. Now, when you factor in that an offense like the Jets, who on Monday night had one of the worst running offenses in the league, comes in and is able to run the ball well, you can expect the Titans offense to probably do something similar today. That's why I expect Tony Pollard to have a pretty big impact on this one. He's coming into a game against the Bills here where he's off a 93-yard and an 88-yard performance in back-to-back weeks, one against the Dolphins, one against the Colts. And we know Tony Pollard. He's been a decent running back for a while now, coming out of Dallas into Tennessee, taking over for Derrick Henry. Outside of the game against the Packers, which I think he might have been a bit banged up, and I can't remember. He's been getting a heavy workload for the Titans. Last 4 games, not including that Packers game, 16 carries, 17 carries, 22 carries, 17 carries. He's been getting a heavy workload. And I think it has to do with a couple of things. One, it's just it's a better game plan for them. They can't throw it, so give the ball to Tony Pollard. But 2, I think right now he's one of their best assets in games like this. That's why I go to him more. today's one of those games where you can anticipate Tony Pollard to get right back up to that type of number there. You've been looking, like I just mentioned here, on average, he's running the ball like 17 times a game. I'd be stunned if Tony Pollard doesn't run the ball that much. The only way I see it not happening, if the Bills come out and get up to a 14 to 17 point lead early. I'm talking midway or early in the second quarter, and they have to bail on the run completely. Now, that could happen. But if the Titans want to have a fair punch in this game, they're going to have to run the ball early and often, and the defense is going to have to live up to the billing. I mentioned how bad their pass offense is, one of the worst in the league. Their defense, however, one of the best in the league. And I feel like nobody's talking about it just because of collectively how bad the Titans have been. Because as bad as their offense has been, some of the worst in the league, their defense truly has been some of the best. If we're talking about total defense this year, the Tennessee Titans have the number 1 overall defense in the entire National Football League. Pretty wild when you get down to it, because I don't think you look at the Titans and think stout defense. I don't think you look at the Titans and think number 1 overall defense. But when we're talking about yards per game, these Tennessee Titans are good for number 1 in the NFL, allowing less than 250 yards of total offense per game. They've been very impressive, especially when you factor in how bad their offense has been backing them up. This Titans defense has been good enough to win just about every game that they've been a part of this year. Passing defense, it's insane. It is a polar opposite of their passing offense. Their passing offense is averaging about 140 yards a game through the air, good for the worst in the league. Their passing defense is allowing 137 yards a game, good for best in the league. So going into this game, I know the Bills right now, and by the way, I'll let you know, I'll show you here, because the line hasn't been affected, which I was shocked by. I would have thought, so the Bills were going into this game as a 9.5 point favorite. I would have thought that when Mason Rudolph was announced the starter, that this line would have moved a little bit. I would have thought some more money would have come in on Tennessee. I just think the Titans are in a better spot with Mason Rudolph, but that's not the case. It has not changed right now over on BetUS. As you can see the line right here, the Bills are the biggest favorite of the entire day. All of the Week 7 lines are up on your screen right now. Oh, wait a minute. I misspoke. The Commanders line has moved. So now the Commanders are the biggest favorite in the league today. The Bills were all week, so that line has gone up on the Commanders. But regardless, the Bills are right there. They're one of the biggest favorites of the weekend. 9.5 point favorite at home. And that is a huge number. What Vegas is telling you here, what BetUS is telling you here on their site is that these Bills are expected to not only win this game, they're expected to win this game by double digits at the minimum. That's what you can look at here. In order to do that, you got to put up points. This Bills offense, I think, has their work cut out for them today against one of the best defenses, statistically, the best defense, that they've seen all year long. But here's the line right here. The over-under is at 41.5. And what I always like to look at, too, are the projected point totals for the teams. As you can see right here, the over-under for points scored this afternoon for the Tennessee Titans is at 14.5. The over-under for points scored for these Bills are at 24.5. And that's kind of how I see this game going. Interestingly enough, with these lines, I see the Bills getting to around 27 today. I see the Titans getting to around 14 to 17. And I think it's going to be right around that number. I think it's going to be right around that number. If you want to get in on that, by the way, YouTube 150 is the promo code. That'll get you 150% sign-up bonus over on BetUS, up to $2,000 on your first deposit, and 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits after that. Hey, you landed your flight from church. Now, do you fly in? Do you guys fly in and land in the parking lot and then get off the private jet? I can't hear you. Are you plugged in?
I thought I was, evidently.
You look good. You got a fresh cut, by the way. I'm noticing that.
Let me try to work this out.
Come join me. Come join me when you got yourself situated. That stuff happens to me all the time, too. This tech stuff, I'll tell you, it's never easy. It's always a little bit of something. By the way, if you couldn't notice, I'm not at the Z-Bot Studios. I am up in Rochester. Caroline had a bachelorette party this weekend. So I said, you know what? I'll go home and watch it with the fam, because down in Connecticut, this game was not on local television. And I'm not paying for Sunday ticket this year, Rico. I got nothing on you.
Can you hear me?
Is it the mic? I'm not paying for Sunday Ticket this year. I paid for Sunday Ticket last year. I barely used it. And then after the whole lawsuit thing came out, I'm like, you know what? They really are ripping my ass off here. I don't want to pay for this. And the game wasn't on local TV in Connecticut this week. And I know what you're all going to say. Yeah, go on the streaming sites. Yeah. I don't trust it for the Bills. Other stuff, whatever. I'm not leaving the Bills game up to chance on some rinky-dink stream or whatever. I'm not doing it. I can't. I'll lose my mind. So I said, I'll just come home. I'm trying to go the whole year without paying for Sunday Ticket. And I've made it this far. I've made it. This is now week 7. And the majority of these other games, I think, should be on local TV. Like next week against the Seahawks as a 420 game. I know that's on local. So we'll see how long I can go. I'm certainly going to make it, I think, to the point. I think I'm going to be able to make it without buying it. I do. But if I have to end up buying it, at least I think they do it's a completely half off or whatever once the season reaches a halway point.
All right.
I think I'll be check. Get there, at least to that. Brother, let me check the comments because then maybe it's a me thing.
Can you? I think you guys can hear me now.
Try it without the mic, and let's just see if we can hear you without the mic, just to see if it's a mic issue.
Expo says you can hear me. Maybe am I tripping?
Oh, it's a me issue. Because of course,
if you guys can hear me.
Hold on, let me see.
Rico is good. All right. What the F going on?
Of course, it's a me issue, Rico. You know what? Son of a bitch. Hold on.
You're probably not even on your own mic. But what's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's everybody good? Listen, as we get into the mix.
Mom, you should have told me my microphone was never on.
A whole bunch of damn rookies.
How about that?
Here in this moment. I know that my man Bot has talked about
going through the dog shit.
New quarterback in
speakers. Hold on, Rico. I'm getting it.
You guys, Rico, you do your thing while I do my thing.
No, I got you. Unbelievable. It was me, obviously, because it always is. And my mic wasn't on the whole time. It was the MacBook mic, not the good mic.
Because you did sound like you were coming from the room. So I was like, yeah. He's a little off there.
Fellas and ladies, I'm sorry. Let's get back to business. Rico, we're in a professional setting. Your mic's on. It always was. I'm an idiot. My mic's on.
Listen, my mic was probably off, but it's all good. Listen, folks.
I actually made it home, by the way.
We made it home. Listen, it was great service today.
Good.
And it was the service today was on faith. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And never wavering on your faith at all times. And these Bills, you know what I mean? Although this Titans team coming in with a different quarterback, the last time we faced Mason Rudolph.
Yes, sir.
I'm not saying that he gave us issues, but like we had to game plan a little differently. We expected one quarterback, we got another, and we're doing the same thing. So we just got to make sure that we stomp the yard on these damn Titans. Because I went on my man's Tennessee Titans Weekly, and I was talking a whole bunch of ish. And as I should, we should stand on business when they come to town. I mean, Mason Rudolph is Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. We got to treat him as such. He ain't no bona fide starting quarterback. And if we allow him to, if we act like we don't know what's going on and he's got a better release than Will Levis, that is a bum, an absolute bum, this is their best chance to win. But just not against the Bills. Not against the Bills.
You feel the same as I do. This definitely gives them a better chance, in my opinion. I think that this is it's not like you just said, it's not a better offense. I just think it's a less mistake oriented offense. I think that this puts them in a safer position, which I think if they play as good a defense as they're capable of, if they run the ball well today, I could see them staying in this game and making it competitive.
I was asked a question. How can the Titans beat the Bills? Forget about what the Bills are going to be able to do to the Titans, yada, yada, yada. How can the Titans beat the Bills? And it stumped me for a little question. It stumped me for a little bit. But we as fans of the team, and we cover the team, we know the ins and outs of this team. We know the weaknesses of this team and what teams should do to us. So I'll go. We'll do three ways the Titans can beat this team. What's your way of one way that they're gonna try to beat us, and then we'll talk about how we will beat the Titans.
I mean, to me, it was obvious. To me, it wasn't turning the ball over, and I think that that's already somewhat alleviated without one of the most turnover susceptible quarterbacks in the league. Truly, I think that already helps. 2, running the ball. And I think Tony Pollard's capable of having a big day today. This team offensively, that's their strong suit. And the Bills, despite I was just talking about it, the Jets ran all over them. And that the Jets went in there with one of the worst run offenses in the league. The Titans have a better run offense statistically. And that's the only thing they can really do with effectiveness. Their pass offense is awful. So then that. And then, Rico, this Titans defense does not get talked about enough. They are as good as it gets. So I think those three things in conjunction, if they all click together, that's the thing. The biggest key for the Titans, they're going to have a full, every cog in the machine is going to have to click in order for that competitive nature to be able to allow them to be in this game. So those three things to me combined, Rico. But if one of them goes off the skids, it's not going to work out for them. Those three things in conjunction, though, I think they have a chance. How about you?
Listen, the one thing I said was that what the Ravens did to us. They were physical with us right off the bat, right off the rip. And we weren't able to recover when they were physical. And that's from both offense, special teams, from one point or the other. I mean, even like at the on point of the start of the game, if one team is a little more intimidating than the other, standing on the line, looking at the other squad, like intimidating and showing more physicality just by standing there, you're out of the game already. I know if you've ever you played lacrosse, you were a lacrosse player. Mm-hmm. I mean, you played, and there's boys that stand on the line and just look at you, stare you right down, right? Trying to intimidate
you know, like if you play sports, you know what you're in store for.
They try to take you out. There's some dogs on this team.
Yeah,
Harold Landry being one of them, Simmons being another. Right? Dawkins talked about, that's my boy. Right? They got some decent safeties out there. Mm-hmm. K9 as our linebacker. They got some good players on that squad. So they saw what the Ravens did to us. So they're gonna try to be physical and try to take us out. They know they have a good defense. What's been holding them back is their offense. So if they're physical with us and we just cower like little bees, then that's gonna be a big issue, right? Yes. Obviously, I heard you coming in and talking on the run game. If they start running the football and they try to establish themselves now, they don't have big backs, right? They got Tony Pollard, they got Tajay Spears, good backs. They're not big physical backs, right? So that in that way, if they can try to run I'm trying my best. I just can't. There's not a whole lot they can do to freaking win this game, man. Special teams and being physical. I tried to be nice. I couldn't.
No, they're bad. They are bad. I mean, you got, but there is some stuff there. There is some, and it also
the quarterback. I was like, it's Mason Rudolph though. I was like,
I know. See that my whole thing, and I was looking forward to what McDermott had cooked up for Will Levis. I thought he was going to throw him in a blender today. I think it's a little hard to do with Mason Rudolph because he's not a loose second year guy who loves slinging the football. Mason Rudolph is a guy you put in there that is going to be, I don't want to say conservative, but he's going to be a guy that's going to be able to game manage an offense. Will Levis is a guy that you can get into some sticky situations and take advantage of. And we've seen that all throughout the year. And I was just looking forward. It felt like I had this in my gut that McDermott was going to go out there and really make it challenging for Will Levis. Not that it's not going to be challenging for Mason Rudolph. I just, you know what I'm saying? They're two different quarterbacks. There's no way to put it.
I get it. So this is why I have is somewhat of an issue because now you got to change your game plan a little bit.
Yeah.
And the great thing is we have a bit of film on Mason Rudolph. We know what he tends to like. Yes, different system, but the quarterback's quarterback, right? If Josh went to the Chicago Bears, when Josh is in trouble, when he doesn't like what he does, what does he do? Rolls to the right. That's what he does. So there's some nuances with the quarterback. Mason Rudolph, I can't remember that the Steelers game, honestly. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's a bottom tier quarterback.
It was a mediocre game. It was a mid-level
game. We just can't make the mistakes. It's going to be on us. If the Bills all of a sudden think little of him and just allow him to just kill, because they got some players on there. Ridley, he's frustrated. He's trying to have a bounce back game. He really is, right? Who's the other boy on the other side? D-Hop. D-Hop doesn't know if he's going to be traded. Does he not? So he's trying to put film out for whoever's trying to trade him. Not that there's no film out there on him, but he's still got to show that he's got some juice and some trade value. So there's going to be a lot of these things that play out. So some folks have a lot to go on. The AFC South is I mean, it's the Texans,
buns outside of the
Texans, and then the rest of the field. Yeah. So they have a chance somehow to kind of prop themselves in and try to get in there. But we'll see how that all shapes out. Walter says, there's tape against Rudolph. Hit him in the head. You're an idiot. Yeah. Hit him in the head. He doesn't have a chance.
Now, Living, he's saying, I don't know why we're not acting like Rudolph isn't trash. It's because that's what we think of Will Levis. I just think Mason Rudolph's better than Will Levis. I'm not saying Mason Rudolph is Peyton Manning. I'm just saying I think he's a better, more sound, more safe quarterback than Will Levis. And I think in a situation like today, that might be better served for the Titans because it feels like one turnover today, and that can really be the difference because I don't know where the Titans get the points from. You know what I mean?
100%. Here's a question for you, man. Amari
Cooper. I was saying I would hope. I don't know if you guys have Cooper tires in Canada, but they play a commercial around here.
We love Cooper tires. Cooper tires are the greatest.
So you know the slogan, Cooper. I think it'd be so cool if they played at the stadium whenever he does something.
So when Cooper makes a play, it's going to be Coop.
Yep.
Is that what it's going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be like bees. Remember bees? Coop. Yep.
So I guess that's what it's going to take. I mean, listen, the game's 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away. So
9 minutes away on the dot.
So let's talk about it. We got predictions. We got bold takes, hot takes. Give me a bold take.
Ooh, a bold take, man.
Bold take. And folks, I want you guys to hashtag bold take. Offensive side, defensive side, special teams. Your bold take for the game.
Bold take for the game. Keon Coleman has a day today. That's my bold take of the game.
What kind of day?
A day that's gonna be. Oh, that was a Keon Coleman day. Takeaway.
Okay.
Not because I feel like right now when we say a day for these Bills receivers, a day doesn't mean like 700 in a score. You know what I mean? A day right now can be like 6 catches, 65 yards, something like that. I think today we see a bit more Keon Coleman because of the acquisition of Amari Cooper. So while Cooper's getting adjusted, the distraction of Cooper allows for Coleman to come in and have a good game.
I like it. I'm going to go defensive side of the ball.
Okay.
Bold take. The Bills do not allow a touchdown today.
Ooh, I'd be all in on that.
The Bills do not allow a touchdown today. And that being said, you can kick all the field goals you want.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting in the end zone. The Bills do not allow Mason Rudolph to muster anything on offensive touchdown. Now, they may get a special teams touchdown. I mean, actually, you know what? I'm gonna stand on it. No touchdowns all the way through. You can kick all the field goals you want, but you ain't scoring any touchdowns. I think the defense, having Teron Johnson back going into his second game, you got Bernard going back into his third game. He's starting to get back. We got our boy, you know what I mean, Taylor Rapp wearing the Guardian cap. The legends. What Guardians of the Guardians of the freaking Buffalo Bills, man. That's my guy. So,
dude, like we talked about last time, wear that forever if you're going to play the way he did on Monday.
My man Namdi says, what about a TD for Pollard? That's a fantasy question.
Yeah, get out of there. Get out. Nobody cares about your fantasy team, Namdi.
I got no Titans on my roster, so they can all burn.
Hey, by the way,
that's my bold take. Yeah.
How you feeling? I can tell you're a little tired. You feeling all right?
I don't know what's going on, man. Like, all this back and forth from Newfoundland, taking flights, and I got to go back again for a third week.
Dude, they're toying with you. Come on, you got to say something. This is crazy.
You think you got another weekend? Yeah. What am I gonna say? No.
Sure.
Don't
you love that?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, so I'm back in Newfoundland. And so guess what? I gotta pack all this stuff. That's the worst part, by the way. Packing all the gear. We talk about it. Yeah. Packing all the gear and everything so you can pod out over there. I almost said I'm not podding, but I can't. I like pod. I like it too much. So we gotta keep it.
Plus, you're out in the hotel where they're keeping you sane, I'm sure, probably.
Oh man, like back in Newfoundland. Newfoundland's a pretty city. Don't get me wrong. I mean, excuse me, a province. And where I'm staying at, it's all right, but like, 3 weeks though, we got to wrap this up, baby.
Is Jenna getting sick of it? She's got it.
Hates it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If you know the department of all departments that need to be handled, you're like, all right, bro, all right, this weekend business ain't working out for me.
That's a lot, dude. That's a lot, especially when you go from never doing that to let's take you away for 3 weeks. Like I don't know, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is what it is, baby. It is what it is, but. Football's back
from Germany, by the way.
Yeah, Nico S. Salute to you from Germany.
What up, Nico?
Is that what we said? Guten Tag?
Is it Germany right now?
It's got to be like afternoon. No, not even. It's like early in the morning, probably.
I think it might be. I think it might be late in the day. I don't know.
I gotta win this for you. Listen, it's to the point where I haven't been able to see my barber. So I call him. He's like, "Yo, I'm on vacation." Guess what? I was like, "I'm not going to any other barber." So I said, "You know what? I'll do it myself."
Looks good to me. I honestly thought you got to cut. Maybe just because you didn't have a hat on. That's how rare
I always have a hat on. I was like, you know what? I'm not today. I'm not doing no hat. I can't go 3 weeks, 4 weeks, almost 4 weeks without a haircut. I was looking like a bum. So
Yeah, I'm going on week 3 here.
Now, how y'all feel? You know me, clean cut Rico? Because the wifey's like, yo, this is your look. I was like, girl, please. Let me grow my hair back again. Let me get my lined up.
What's your look? Growing it out?
You know what? When you get older, your look changes. You feel me? So like, I mean, you start to kind of get your hair starts to thin a little bit. So you're like, yo, do I go bald all the way? Is it time yet? No. Let's wait a little bit. I always tell her, yo, the minute it's like, some guys hold on too long. I've seen guys with a comb over it. The whole thing is bald, but they got that comb over, still holding on for dear life, bro.
No, you definitely got the nice skin fade there where there's no need to do that.
So I'm not there yet, but there's gonna come a time where it's gonna be just hats and only hats, or I'm just going bald. So right now I'm
I've been doing it since I'm in my 20s, man. And you're never gonna catch me off guard when I'm up in my 50s. No one's gonna tell the difference. Never
catch you off guard, bro. That's exactly what it is, man. I'm trying to see where we're at right now. But once I get to that point, it's a wrap. Yo, shave it out, thing off. I'm gonna be bald Rico. That's it.
So with 4 minutes left before we let Pierre come on, your final thoughts in terms of a score prediction and how the Bills get there. What do you think today?
Final score. These guys have allowed 20 points or more every week so far this week, so it's not going to change. So I'm gonna give us a 28, a nice 28-9 victory. 28-9 Bills.
So you're thinking if this is a 3 field goal performance today for the Titans, no end zone, Bills have a decent offensive day, and this is a pretty comfortable win. That's how you're seeing it.
It's just going to be one of those games. It has to be. It has to be. We had a big game against the Jets. We got that. Everybody saw it. Now we're back to regular. We're at home on top of that.
Yeah.
We're at home. Handle business. And we got to, you put me on notice, man. We have a stretch of games that we could definitely really increase our victory, our win margin in this AFC East, man. Let's start off with these boys here. Large Mouse says 38-17.
This is news to me, by the way. Kingpin taking the day off. Is he gone today?
Oh, maybe he's ill. You got it in you?
Yeah, I know he's ill.
You got it in you?
I don't. I'm up with the fam. I'm up in Rochester today. I don't have it in me.
You got it in you? Go live?
Maybe at halftime. Maybe at halftime, depending on how this game's going. You'll be good for afterwards, though, right? You're all good.
Listen, man, we gotta fight through it and make it happen, man. So here it is, man. So wait, you didn't give me your score. What's your score?
So right now, Rico, on BetUS, the line's 9.5, and I find that interesting because this is expected to be a 10-point win for the Bills, and that's where I see it. I see it being right around that. Like you said, every game this year outside of the Dolphins game, the Dolphins statistically have the worst offense in terms of scoring in the league. This Titans team, as good as their D has been, has allowed 20-plus points. I don't see the Bills not scoring that. It's what they do every week outside of their one blunder or a couple of blunders that were uncharacteristic. The Bills are going to have the ability to get up into the mid-20s. The Titans do not have the ability offensively to do that. If you go and look at this season, the Titans have not scored 20-plus points in a single game this year. They are stuck at around the 17 mark. And against the Bills team, that's just not going to get it done. You're not going to be able to score in the high teens and win. So I see this game being 28-17. Bills win. Bills cover the spread. And it's just one of those games where I feel like throughout it, Rico, it's not going to be boring, but it's also not going to be entertaining. It's just going to be like one of those games where it feels like the Bills had the stranglehold on it, and it just kind of takes the full 60 minutes to get all the way there, but they do end up pulling away by a double-digit margin.
You let them score 17 points? You think they're going to put 17 points on us, huh?
I think they'll be able to run the ball today. I do. I got to see the Bills stifle the run before I expect a guy like Tony Pollard to not have a day. Like, everybody has had a day. And they're also having days, and this is what I think will be better for them, led by Mason Rudolph. This screen game offensively for everybody seems to click against the Bills. And I think Mason Rudolph's more likely to check it down than Will Levis is. So I feel like they'll be able to move the ball a bit, but I just don't see where they're going to get 20-plus points from. There's no way.
Neither do I. And if it is, it's a disaster, and we'll be on, ready to roll. By the way, catch me on Bleacher Report right after the game, and then it's going to be me and Bot right after that.
Oh, baby.
We can get this thing rolling. We want to be doing this. We want to be doing this again.
We're gonna be doing our dance. We haven't done a dance in a minute, so that's what we're hoping for. So you got Bleacher Report right after.
Yes, sir.
So on the way out the door, like button, subscribe button, watch Rico right after the game on Bleacher Report. As soon as he's done, right back to the BF YouTube channel for the post-game show with Rico and Bot. Also, YouTube 150, the promo code, 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on BetUS, and 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits. After that, that's Rico, that's Bot. We'll be with you after the game. Enjoy Bills Titan, folks, and we'll talk to you in a couple of hours. Peace.